I'm in here with Rachel. Rachel, how are you?
How's it going? How are you? I'm really well.
It's good to have you in. You've not been in with us before,
I've
but
never
you're saying...
been, so this is my first time at
you're very welcome.
Thanks very much. It's great to be here.
You were saying to me earlier you've been doing a few radio stations though.
I have, yeah.
And how have they been going for you?
Really good. I did Nova and I did a couple of other radio stations, and they've been really well, and I've got, a real good feedback, and it's good to be here.
Excellent. Well, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
You're going to play a few tracks for us in a few minutes, but before we do that, I want to talk to you a little bit about your music.
Yeah.
Now, I know this is kind of a cliche question, but what if somebody asked you what sort of music do you play? What is it?
What is it? I think it's going to be a pop / indie, crazy rhythm, happy music. I think that sums all my songs up. It's just basically happy songs, good beats, and I've got that kind of like the rocky kind of side to me as well, so that adds element to the pop element to it. So it's kind of a pop rock / indie, if that makes any sense.
It does. It makes, and I'm sure it'll make more sense once we've heard stuff. But that's a lot of things to be saying when it's a person with a guitar and vocal. Well,
this is, I think normally, songwriters have an awful bad rep being, kind of sad and, a bit really talking about their lives and what a bad day they've kind of had. But I don't write songs about having a bad day. I just kind of write songs and of what I've been through, like, myself and
experiences,
what I see every day. And I don't really talk about sad songs. And like anytime like I'm at a gig, like 9 times out of 10 I'm always given a chair, and I'm like, well, I never sit, I always stand.
Yeah.
And they're like, are you sure? Like, I was like, yeah, I might be a songwriter, but I can't stand and sing at the same time, so that's cool. Yeah, so I'm not kind of your typical songwriter. I'm very much upbeat and I'm very much happy-go-lucky. So
excellent.
Hopefully, the album will show that.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about the album in a little bit. Before that, though, I want to talk to you a little bit more about your gigs that you've been doing and what you've been... you've been writing music for a while.
I've been writing music since I was about 13.
Yeah.
And I've been gigging on and off for about 10 years, but I've solidly been doing it every week for the past year and a half now.
Cool.
And it's been the best choice I've ever made in my life, is to keep going and keep getting out there and gigging.
And just a sort of a question is, what's some of the better things that you've learned from this continuous gigging? Is there? I'm sure there's been things that you've changed.
Yeah, totally. It's definitely a craft. You learn something new every gig that you do. Mm-hmm. You're always picking up tips of how to talk to your audience and how to kind of connect with them, because if you don't have that, you could sing the best songs in the world, but if the audience can't actually get you, well then that's not kind of why you're there. So what I've learned is to just kind of take each gig as it comes and just go with it. And if things happen. But the main thing is that the people you meet is just amazing, all walks of life, and it's great to be a part of that circle.
And do you find when you go to playing gigs, do people, do you find it hard to win people over and talk to them, or do you let the music do the talking, or
kind of a bit of both, really? I think the songs itself are very pop kind of so people kind of go, oh yeah, it's real pop, it's real upbeat. But then when you're kind of going to the next song and you start talking to the people, I just kind of say if something happened to me that day, I just tell them about it, and if they find it funny, good, that's a bonus. But if you don't, it's kind of okay, and the next song is, and then you just kind of blast a rocky song out, and that kind of gets them back into focus with you. But I think it's all trial and error, really. I've had weird gigs. I've done the most strangest really? Gigs. I just recently did a kickboxing tournament, and I went on for 20 minutes and nobody was there to hear a girl play songs, and not one person turned around. But then when I was going out, I'd seven or 8 people going, oh, the songs were great. I was thanks so much, because when you're up there and when you can't get any vibe off anybody, it's very hard to keep going and keep that kind of like.
Yeah, I think it's
the
very.
energy.
I think it can be very nerve-wracking, especially if
Especially when it's an odd gig, when it's not your normal pub or bar that like people actually come to see songwriters and see bands. But when you're put in that type of spot where you're out of your own area,
your comfort zone.
Yeah, I mean, I did the comedy show there in Halfpenny Bridge last year, the comedy club.
Yeah,
and again, it was real comedy, and then I got up and I did 4 songs, and everyone like said, well, she's not here to do comedy, but like she's really good in her own field. So I got like like a good clap off them and things like that. So it's
great.
Good. It's good,
I get the real feeling that what you do in your music, it's very much you. You're not about.
There's no
lies.
There's no curtain like around me. Like what you see is what you get with me. I'm a typical Northside songwriter, which probably means I am what I am, and if you like me, cool. And if you don't like me, work with me.
Excellent. Okay, well, on that note, I think it's about time we heard a little bit of the music, if that's cool. So, what are you going to play for us?
I'm actually going to do a brand new song.
Cool.
No one's heard of this at all. It's brand new. It's only about 4 days old.
Cool.
And it's called Stand Up and Be Counted, and I'd love to do it.
Exclusive on Near FM.
Cool.
Excellent.
No, you don't care. What's the use? What's the point? You really don't mind. You say it's wrong, that the fight is gone, and there's no point trying to change it anyway. So what you gonna do? Where you gonna go? How you gonna feel? What you gonna do when it's all over? 'Cause politics is something I don't believe in. So stand up and be counted. So stand up and be counted, counted, counted. Stand up, be counted. Box, you decide, use it wise, and let's just play the game. You change your mind and you're gonna try to fight and have your say, it's gotta change. So what you gonna do, where you gonna go, how you gonna feel, where you gonna go when it's all over? 'Cause politics is something I don't believe. So stand up and be counted. Stand up and be counted, counted, counted. You just wanna